I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, all this volatility in the world and investing is now the time to invest in real estate. Also, if you're a military veteran, what can you do to enjoy home ownership? It's just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. And welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your home, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses, all from your living room, but with my attorney advice throughout the way. If you have any questions at all during the program, all you have to do is call that phone number, 407-205-0400. If you want to start that house hunt this weekend, you will need a pre-approval letter. Dallas Lehman with You Have Mortgages standing by. Same phone number, 407-205-0400. Great show for you today. You will not want to miss one single minute. But first, it's time for my opening statement. Before we hit the opening statement, I got my electricity bill just a couple of days ago while I was on vacation, actually. And guess what? $40. Last summer, it was $500. Now my electricity bill is $40 per month. I can show it to you on the program. Literally, it's $40 a month for my electricity, all because I went solar, all because I did it through IQ Power Solar. Their COO, Stephen Bader, tells us how we did it. Live here on site with the COO of IQ Power Solar, Stephen Bader. I already had solar installed on my house. I wanted to see his crew in action against Steve. You must admit, this is the most talented crew in all of solar.
I'm pretty happy with it.
The guys are doing a great job up there, obviously, professional. I mean, solar can have some people and some businesses that aren't so good. What separates IQ Power Solar?
Well, it's really valuable to have your own install crew instead of subcontractors, etc. So these guys work together year after year. They've done a lot of trainings together. Every time there's a new product that comes to market, they go to manufacturer trainings. We're actually a warranty center for a lot of manufacturers, which is really cool, and it distinguishes us, especially when it comes to servicing. But really, it's just about cohesiveness. You know, these guys, they get here in the morning, they review the engineer drawings together. Sometimes they review the drawings in the office on a chalkboard environment when there's problems and stuff like that. But they lay it out and then just execute. So it's really cool when they have a lot of experience together, just like anything else.
There's something to be said for one truck, two trucks, three trucks, all with the logo on there. Everyone has the same shirt, IQ Power Solar. I mean, this is a real professional organization.
We try.
And Stephen Bader, IQ Power Solar, thanks for coming out today.
Of course.
Thank you, Steve. And now with all this volatility in the stock market, really all this volatility in this country from the pandemic to now the riots and the protest and the looting, I think we're very concerned about where to invest our money. Today's program, we're going to talk about investing in real estate. Is it a good investment? Is now a good time to invest here in Florida? Even better yet, in Central Florida. Should we put our money in real estate here in Central Florida? Also, for you veterans out there, a very special program for you today. And let's talk about how you can really achieve your goals of home ownership as a veteran through that VA mortgage. We'll hit that and much more. But first, it's time for real questions. Every Saturday here in You Have Real Estate, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Today, I am delighted to welcome Erica Andre and Peter Rodriguez. Guys, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Erica, let me start with you. First, for our broker associate at Design or Listed, some people get confused about broker versus realtor versus real estate agent or broker associate. What does broker associate really mean? Realtor. Okay.
Realtor that's one step away from owning an office.
And then a lot of times we'll see that the realtor next to your name and then the little trademark symbol. Why is that?
Well, that's your association.
Okay.
Your realtor, Orange, Aura, or Oscar. That's what I think it is.
Got it. Essentially, we're all in the business of helping people buy or sell real estate at the end of the day. Now, you have a lot of experience actually working with investors. And one of the things I always hear about working with investors, you say, oh, we're going to buy wholesale. What does that mean, buying wholesale?
Well, I actually don't use that term anymore. Originally what that meant was when hedge funds were releasing a lot of their properties, they would send like 400, just hundreds of properties, and you could pick like 30 at a time. At that time, that was wholesale. Now it's so many different things, but it's mainly cash properties. You know, there's a couple of different parts to it. Double closings, which I don't know if a lot of people do that anymore. There's assignments, but yeah, I normally just say cash investment properties because wholesale's got such a
Yeah.
and, you know,
Yeah, I think
stigma with it.
you also have some experience working for builders back in the day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
What do you think of, because people, especially in Central Florida, have that decision to make when they go buy a home. It's essentially three options. You go buy from someone else, you build a house yourself, or you go buy from a builder, a new house. So what do you think about buying from the builder directly? I'm talking about the big builder with all the flags in front of their neighborhood and everything.
You know, if you need your home to be custom made, you have the money, go for it. Do it. There are a lot of things that go along with it, like, you know, those orders you have to put back in, they do something wrong, you don't like it, you have to change order, and then it can be very long.
Yeah.
But I mean, if that's your dream, you want to customize your home that way, then go for it. But they have spec homes already built. If it's about a cabinet, you know, you can always change that out after. But I like the inventory spec homes better.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you need to build and you have 6 to 8 months to a year, go for it.
So if I go to one of these big builders, one of these big neighborhoods we see popping up everywhere, do I have a lot of say in exactly how we want the house built, or is it kind of standard? It is what it is.
You get to pick your models, you get to pick your elevations. What you have say is in the design center, and that's could be like an extra $20,000. It's fun, you know. You spend 8 hours, a couple of times, you know, you'll go in there for 8 hours, and you just will spend. So that's kind of another place where they can kind of, you know, get you on money. But yeah, you have some choices.
When I go buy from one of these builders, let's say the price tag is $250. Does that really mean $250 for a pretty much done house, or is that like buying a car with no tires at $250?
If it's a spec home, then that would be the price. You can definitely get incentives. You can get money towards closing costs. If it's a to be built, you know, you start with the lot. There's the lot premium price, and then it goes from there. So yeah, it's they'll say one price, but you know, you got to be careful with that.
And Peter Rodriguez, let me bring you in here as well. Heroes Real Estate Group. Where did they come up with that name, Heroes? What does that mean?
So Heroes, the owner of the broker owner of the brokerage, Armando Perez, he's a former Marine as well as a former deputy sheriff. So the name in itself came of a way for us to put a message out there that we're serving our brothers and sisters, our heroes of the community, which, you know, are not just military but also police officers, firefighters, nurses, doctors, you know, people who honestly change the future of our communities.
Yeah. And what's your story? Were you Marine?
Yeah, so I joined the Marine Corps in 2005. I was active duty for 10 years.
Wow.
I went all over the world, deployed. And when I decided to get out of the Marine Corps in 2015, I needed something else with a mission, if you will. And I joined real estate, went through a few different companies, found Armando and his company and the mission they put out there, and I fell in love with it. I've been there ever since.
Well, I brought my American flag pin today to help honor you and really what's going on in this country. I mean, at the end of the day, it's terrible. We kind of get through this pandemic, and now we have everything else that's going on out there as well. And what are your thoughts on, and we don't have to get political by any means, but what are your thoughts on sending the military in to protect our own country from ourselves in a way? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very fine line. I think a lot of people look at some of the things that are being talked about, like sending in active duty troops, and they consider it almost like a crime against Americans because you're releasing American troops on American individuals. But I believe people like the National Guard or groups like the National Guard are important to kind of uphold the order that should be out there in the American public, especially when most of the protests that are going on are peaceful, and then you have a few individuals that are turning things violent.
What are some of the benefits that we have for veterans who come back and they want to realize their dream of home ownership? Are there some extra tools that veterans have to really buy that first home?
Sure. You know, surprisingly, the VA loan is something that many people hear about, but a lot of people don't know the details of. And I've encountered many, many veterans, you know, during my time in real estate that get out and they want to buy a home, but they don't know that they can do it without down payment, which is hard to believe because that's something that, you know, everybody should know. But the fact that you can get out of the military, apply for a VA loan, and literally put no down payment towards a house, all you have to do is put a 2.3% funding fee when in your first purchase. I mean, it saves individuals loads of money. I mean, putting myself out there, when I purchased my first home after I got out, I actually got back about $2,000.
Wow.
So I not only did I paid absolutely nothing, I got $2,000 back. So so it's very helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah. And Erica, what are you seeing out on the ground right now, price-wise? Because of course we've been through a pandemic. Now we got all this going on. I think the market was pretty stout still. And
Yes.
but what are you seeing out on the ground right now?
Still multiple offers. Having to, overbid to get the property still. A lot of realtor friends of mine are going through it every single day. And any listing they have, or even as a selling agent, they put an offer and somebody else is already putting an offer, or at the same time they're putting in an offer.
Yeah.
So it's still very busy. It's with more urgency.
And I know you get sick of me saying this every week, but I'm telling you, you can go buy a house right now, and with these historically low interest rates, your mortgage, and I'm talking all-in mortgage, PITI, is going to be significantly less than what you would pay for rent for that exact same house. And while, again, it's not as easy to get a mortgage as it was in 2006, when you just had to be alive, basically, it's not as hard as it was in 2010. I mean, they are still doing mortgages. As long as you can show you have some income coming in and your credit's not terrible, you're gonna get qualified for a mortgage. Dallas Lehman will tell you, call him right now if you want, and he'll get you qualified now. 407-205-0400. But now, Peter, when we talk about the VA, we're talking literally zero down. Right? You don't have to put any money down when you buy a house.
Zero down payment. A lot of people confuse the VA funding fee with a down payment, but that's just a fee that you can actually roll into your mortgage anyway when you actually take the mortgage out. So essentially, you can put no money out of pocket initially, other than the lending fees and so on and so forth, which if you ask for closing costs from the seller, those can be covered as well anyway.
Exactly. Unbelievable. I think now is a great time to buy. And then we've talked on the show before, Erica, maybe 900 people a day moving to Florida, almost the size of the city of Orlando every year in population moving here. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see more. I think that number is going to increase. People are getting the heck out of Dodge when it comes to New York. They're coming here more than they ever have, which I think makes us in a really special position when it comes to real estate here. And what do you think? You have some money sitting around, stock market or real estate? What do you think, Erica?
Real estate, always. It's so solid. I have a lady coming down right now from New York today. She's relocating. And just people that need to sell, they're liquidating. They have money 11 properties. They have hundreds of thousands of dollars that they have access to at any moment. They put on the MLS and they'll get everything back.
Absolutely.
So they don't, I think definitely real estate always.
So if I'm looking for an investment home, don't consider this a loaded question at all. What should I be looking for in an investment property?
Well, definitely a good price, first thing, because there are a lot of investment properties. They'll send them out as investment properties and they're expensive. They're, not getting much room for any return after you have to put in, $30,000 of work, but definitely price and just the comps and what's selling in the area. Yeah, definitely. And how much work you have to do for sure. You want to do minimal work, but yeah.
Peter, so 10 years in the Marines. How in the world did you make that transition from Marines to real estate? How'd that go?
It was tough. It was a tough year and a half when I first got out. Initially, when I first got out, I went into the insurance world. That was my way of transitioning over, start dealing with people in a normal way. And that didn't work out very well. I wasn't a fan of the insurance industry, and that's when I got into the real estate. And even then, to this day, some people, it's funny, I get sent memes and stuff all the time that this is how I think I look, but this is how I really look. and sometimes,
I would never want to see that meme of myself, please.
And no, I think it's challenging to adapt just because, that becomes a part of who you are as a person. But I think with time and dealing with more and more people has become a lot easier.
How did you choose the Marines?
Everybody wanted me to go Army. I went to the Army recruiting office, and that particular experience just was not great. I felt like the particular recruiter I was talking to was kind of giving me some gray information. Mm-hmm. So I went to school. I enlisted in high school when I was 17, so I went back to high school, and the Marine recruiter just walked by the courtyard and just said, "Do you want to become a Marine?" Craziest thing, and I said no. But then after I thought about it, looked more into it, I decided that was the path.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your service, brother. I mean that. I do more than anything. So now let's show some properties. How about that? We're going to take some tours of some awesome properties that they have listed right now. Again, I don't just say this because you have real estate. I say this because My job is to tell you what's really going on out in the real estate world in Central Florida. The rental market here, still very, very strong. It's great if you're a landlord. But if you're some dude trying to put a roof over your family's head, it is very expensive to rent in this market right now. Whereas if you buy a house, the interest rates are historically low. You're going to pay less for the mortgage than you are to rent the same house. Mark my words on that. Peter, let's start with you here. Let's go down to St. Cloud, Scenic Vista Drive. Tell me about this property.
Well, Scenic Vista Drive is actually the property of the broker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the broker address. But we have the property on Bromley. And that property, I mean, it's on almost 2 acres. You drive into the driveway and you have very nice driveway wraps around. When you go into the front door, very nice open space. You can actually see the dining room to the right, past the stairs. If you look up the stairs, nice little balcony that overlooks the front atrium. Kitchen is pretty much all white, very elegant and very nice and modern. And then you have an amazing pool in the back. So it's just an amazing property on a good sized lot that honestly it'll serve someone very well.
Yeah. What's the price point on this one?
$775.
$775. Okay. So I mean, look, in St. Cloud for a house of that size, that's not too bad. And maybe start at Scenic Vista Drive to meet Peter there at Scenic Vista, and then he'll show you.
Yeah, I can sell you Armando's property.
House on Bravo. Yeah, just to be clear, Scenic Vista is not for sale.
It is not. It is not.
Sorry about that. All right, if you have any questions about this property, you would like to see this property this weekend, I'll hook you up with Peter right now, 407-205-0400. Erica, a couple properties to show us as well. Hopefully I don't give your broker's address. Also, let's go to Wheelhouse Lane. Where is this?
That's the office.
That's your office
Yes.
too? Interesting.
That's there's a design center, Florida Living Quarters.
So meet
is there.
Erica at Wheelhouse Lane, and then she'll take you to where?
Well, I have 10165 Granite Bay in Lake Nona. That's coming soon. It's going to be completely renovated. It's a little over 1,800 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2-car garage, and we're asking $325.
$325.
Yes,
So
in
just
Lake
I'm
Nona.
not good at math, but I know in Lake Nona that's a good price. And the
Yes.
mortgage payment on that's $1,800 a month, something like that.
Yes. And
Whereas
it's gonna be completely remodeled.
if you're going to rent that property, you're paying $2,500 a month, probably $2,300 to $2,500. Whereas you can buy it, you can own it for maybe $1,700 or $1,800 a month. Can you guys tell I've been on vacation? I mean, who would give your business address as the address we're trying to show, huh? In my defense, I just returned from vacation, so I apologize for that.
Okay.
All right, one more property, I think,
Yeah.
right? Just show us what's the other one?
And so this one is 4750 Muir Village. It's like in the corner of Pine Hills and Rosemont, and it's only $155.
Whoa.
Yes. It's about 1,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathroom, 1-car garage on a cul-de-sac. You could use it as an investment to have some positive cash flow, or just move in for yourself and your family.
Wait, and if you have any questions about either of these properties, I'll connect you with Erica right now at 407-205-0400. Let's say I want to buy Muir Village as an
Yes.
investment property. So I'm going to look at, obviously, the purchase price, number one.
Yeah.
I mean, do I look at what I can rent it out for as well
Yes.
versus the payment? And also, second question, do you find most people buying investment properties get a mortgage or pay cash?
Cash.
Yeah.
Yes. Cash. Yes. I'll give you the other number too.
Okay, go ahead.
It's 407-409-4476.
Got it. So cash is king in investment, but I mean, do you notice that some people do get a mortgage, or can you get a mortgage to buy an investment property?
They'll do hard money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like not FHA or conventional mortgages. No, I mean there are some people like a first-time investor
Mm-hmm.
who will consider that they want to go conventional, and then it gets kind of messed up because they'll already have a homestead, and then you have other properties, and it just doesn't work.
And people hear about this hard money thing all the time. Help me understand hard money. How does that really work?
Hard money, private money, you can get the money faster. It's a higher interest rate. It's released in maybe 2 weeks, and they base it off the property and the return on the property and what they think that it's valued at,
Got
and
it.
your credit.
So
basically.
you guys, I both spent a lot of time down in St. Cloud for you. You spent some time down in Kissimmee as well. Do you see any hot spots of the Central Florida real estate community?
I do.
What do you think?
32806 Orlando. That's where I live. My
Yeah.
neighborhood. Super hot. They're just.
Where is that exactly?
32806 is Orlando Delaney
Ah,
Park area. Down a little bit of Conway. just all of that area, everybody's renovating or they're just completely demolishing the property, building brand new. But it's a very hot area.
I've heard some stories about some restaurants popping up there, kind of on
Yeah.
Curry, kind of making its own little neighborhood and community, right?
Yeah, the Hourglass District. It's nice.
It's nice. Huh?
Yeah, there's
Awesome.
one of my favorites.
Peter, what do you think? Any hot spots that you're seeing right now?
Yeah, so the 34771 zip code is pretty good. Not sure if you guys are familiar, but back there's a community called Sunbridge that's actually owned by Tavistock, and in Osceola, it's actually a two-part community. Part of it is in Osceola, and part of it is in Orange County, right there by Lake Nona. The Osceola County side has 20,000 homes coming to it, along with a lot of multi-use facilities, restaurants, hotels, apartments, so on and so forth, and it's a lot of stuff happening out there.
I give you $250,000 right now to go invest. Where would you do it?
Real estate.
Where in this town?
Depends. Depends on what the end goal is. So, I mean, you have either the investment goal of either owning it long-term to rent it out, Airbnb it. I mean, it really depends. If I'm going to Airbnb it, I would look at Davenport, maybe some of that area over there, some parts of Kissimmee. And then if I'm going to sit there to rent it out, I would likely do something like more proper Kissimmee, closer to Orlando, just because every property that comes for rental in Kissimmee at a good price, it's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
So people do invest to then rent on Airbnb and things like that, huh?
Yeah, that's
Really?
a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, the U.S. alone has a little bit over 660,000 Airbnbs.
Wow.
So it's just it's a good market.
Yeah.
I don't think about that.
They'll pay top dollar for
Is
a
that
house,
right?
too. Oh yeah, they'll pay, and they'll do some cosmetic renovations, but yeah, they'll get it for market price.
So if let's say I want to invest in a property that the current owner has been using for Airbnb, can they show me like a rental history to show me what they've been able to rent it for?
Yeah, so typically you'll ask for the T12 or the trailing 12, so basically the financials of the past 12 months, and then that'll tell you pretty much everything there, what comes in and what goes out, to put it simply, and then use that to actually justify the purchase or not.
Wow. Same question for you. I give you $250,000 to invest in real estate in somewhere in Central Florida. Where would you do it?
Definitely in Orlando, 32806.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. The stability of the market is just, and it's always increasing.
Right.
So, I mean, you can have a home that's original from the 70s and it can still get what a next door neighbor, after they've just renovated like a $50,000 renovation job, it'll be the same price.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Any questions for Erica or Peter, please call us 407-205-0400. They would be happy to show you any of these properties that we discussed today. All you got to do is call. We'll hook you up with them right away. And now it's time for your portion of the program. It's time for the Real Estate Roundtable every Saturday. Here on You Have Real Estate, we answer your questions from throughout the week. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page, You Have Real Estate, and you can ask me questions right there, and we might just answer them next week here on You Have Real Estate. All right, John in Deltona. Who pays the property taxes and closing cost at closing? What do you think?
Depending on the time of the year.
Yeah?
Well, they're going to pay their own closing costs, but the property taxes will depend on the time of the year.
Yeah. Who normally pays the title costs and things like that?
Yeah, so I mean, title cost, it's kind of separated by two. So I'm sorry, not separated, but divided by two. So a portion is paid by the seller, a portion gets paid by the buyer. But at the end of the day, it also depends on who chooses the title company. If the buyer chooses a title company, then they're also taking something like the title insurance that the seller would pay for, and they would be paying for it. So it really just depends.
So the title insurance, I guess, is normally paid by the seller, at least in this market, right? And then the rest of it's kind of split. What about real estate commission?
That's by the seller.
Yeah, seller pretty much always pays that 6% or whatever we've negotiated.
Yeah.
All right, Samantha in Orlando. I'm selling my home. Should I try to negotiate my real estate commission?
Sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think everything's negotiable. There's, I think the erroneous thinking that there's a standard or a rule of whatever the real estate commission is, but I believe everything's negotiable and it's up to the seller and that agent.
How does it work? Let's say that you represent a seller and they say, oh, I'm only paying 5% total. How then do you have to reflect that on the MLS listing?
I would reflect it the same, 2.5, 2.5. Yeah.
And do you think that might turn off some buyers agents from showing the property? Or
Honestly, not really.
No?
There's times when it could happen, but if that person wants that house, there's nothing that can stop them. That they have it in their head. They want that house and they'll do whatever to get it, and they'll call any agent to get it. So
got it. All right, let's go to Sam down in Orlando. Thank you, Sam. Should I buy directly from a builder? What do you think?
I don't see any problem with buying with a builder. Yeah. As long as you have the time and the energy to be there a lot, checking out, getting on site and spending all that time with, the orders and all of that stuff, then go for it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it would depend and vary on the comfortability factor of that person, because at the end of the day, them hiring a realtor to go with them to the builder to make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted doesn't cost them anything. So it's in their best interest to get with someone to actually help guide them through the process.
I think that's a really great point. I mean, there's nothing wrong with you taking your agent, your trusted agent who's been showing you properties for the last 2 months, down to that builder's office. Because at the builder's office, normally there is a realtor, a real estate agent sitting there.
Right.
And I don't think they're going to be offended if I take my own realtor.
Not at all.
Right?
No, it actually helps them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by all means, especially if you've already been working with a realtor, they've taken their time out to show you a lot of different properties. I don't think it's being a great person to then go hang out with at the builder's office and cut your agent out of it. I mean, this person has been working with you the whole time. And again, it's not going to cost you a penny to take your agent with you. And then you have someone protecting you as well.
Correct.
Very true.
Because I think that you go to some of these builders and look, a lot of them are great builders, but there can be bait and switches. And we're talking about a contract that is this thick, that is written in favor of the builder, that you really do need some type of representation. That agent there, they're nice people, but let's keep in mind who they work for, who signs their paycheck. Right. So I would highly recommend taking your own agent down to the builder's place with you.
Absolutely.
What are some of the negatives of buying from a builder, would you say?
Time consuming. If it's a to be built, time consuming.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I mean,
time consuming.
If you don't have 6 to 8 months in most cases, or custom built up to 12 months, I mean, it's just probably not the way to go.
Angela in Claremont, I'm selling my house and it seems like I'm paying all of the closing costs. Who pays these recording fees and title costs? I think we kind of addressed that before. It's a mix.
Correct.
I think that generally the seller's going to pay for title insurance. The seller's, virtually always going to pay for the real estate commission. The property tax thing, how it works is essentially it depends on if the seller's already paid for that year of closing or not. Because if the seller's already paid the property taxes, they're going to get credit for the months that you're going to own the place. Whereas vice versa, if they haven't paid, you're going to get credit for the months that the seller has lived there. Excellent job, guys. That went by so fast.
Thank you.
Peter Rodriguez, thank you, first of all, for your
Thank you.
service. And also, thank you for your awesome work in the real estate community here as well. Erica, it was great to meet you. Thanks for coming in. If you have any questions about anything we talked about today, I'll hook you up right away. 407-205-0400. Most importantly, thank you for joining us today. If you want to get pre-approved, Dallas Lehman is standing by right now. 407-205-0400. I'm attorney Justin Clark, and I'll see you next week for You Have Real Estate. I'm attorney Justin Clark. I love spending my Saturdays here with you on You Have Real Estate, but did you know you could listen to us every single weekday, Monday through Friday on Florida Man Radio Network, 105.5 FM, 660 AM. Love seeing you on TV. Can't wait to talk to you on the radio.